Okay, on the inside, there's another problem with the shear when you get that on there. If you lay your shear down flat on the table like this, and if they weren't there, if you look at that inside, the screws like right there. Your blade's going to be like that with your hollow grind area like that. And they came up here and they put that bevel on there. Quite often, here's what happens. This metal right here, that metal is removed. And if they happen to use a grinder on your shear and it heats that metal up, it takes the temper out. So when you go to use it, it holds an edge pretty good for a week or so, and then all of a sudden your edge is gone. Now, well, I don't know what I did. Well, this metal was removed. Now, if you have a nick in your blade, like this, and if it's just a nick, if it's a small nick, irregardless, you got to remove this to get down to some fresh metal and you can put an edge on them. So that's important that you don't just throw them just any place, because that becomes a real problem in the servicing part of it. But if it's just damage, like Mr. Canada said, he took his thing and just beat on it like this, I don't have to take any metal off that shear to repair it. I can reshape that thing, run across the stones, and I'm in good shape. I've got a shear that cuts like it did new. Okay? When you take that temper out, removes that metal, takes off years of life off the shear. Okay? You don't want to do that. You pay high dollars for scissors, you're going to use that thing for a long time. So that's what happens. Okay. You want to avoid this. If a person doesn't know what they're doing, don't let them play with it. It breaks my heart when I see a nice shear like that, and when they're not done, if I don't have corrective sharpening to do, it's just something bumped into like a ring or comb or something like that. I can repair the shear with it's less work for me. Your shear, you don't have to take a bunch of metal off of it, so that it's going to last you years longer. You're going to actually a year, and of course they're going to be like brand new again. Unfortunately, there are people who cut hair have to have a license. People who repair them don't. You can take your car to any garage you want to, and if they do a good job, fine. If they mess your car up or something, well, then you're stuck with it. And that's the same way with shears. Service people are not required to have any kind of a license, which is I'm not advocating any more government controls, but it's a buyer beware deal with your shears. Okay. All that glitters is not gold. That's the same thing comes into play when you buy a shear. You buy a shear, there's a lot of stuff out here that's selling for high dollar that shouldn't be. And a lot of stuff out there that is high dollar that's you can tell it when you go to work on it, but you're not going to look at it. It's not going to lay on a shelf. You're not going to pick it up and just look at it like this and say, okay, this is a high dollar scissor. It may feel good, but it's not going to hold up as well. The steel's not good. It's not tempered as well. It may have shallower angles on the thing. There's a lot of things come into play when we look at that. But you gotta know your sharpener, or know something about him, or if you don't, tell him, see you later. I'm okay today. Thank you. So you don't want to be a case of buyer beware, and you're the one that needs to beware.